Hello everyone and welcome to a new math video. Today we're tackling a problem from the AIME from 1986. So let's go. So the goal is to evaluate the product of this expression we have right over here. So we're going to have to simplify that. One way to do it is that we could technically multiply out all the terms, but that would take a long time and we'd probably make a mistake. So we need a strategy for that. If this expression is to simplify, then we will probably be able to eliminate radicals. So the technique which we're going to use has something to do with squares. And if we look, for example, at the first two factors of this expression, then we see that we might use the formula for the difference of two squares. So we know that if we have two squares, such as a squared minus b squared, then this is going to be equal to a plus b times a minus b. And in this case, we get something similar to that. We have a product which is in the form of a plus b and a minus b, where in this case, we might just substitute square root of 5 plus square root of 6 with a and b with square root of 7, because we can see that first term is going to be a plus b if we substitute it this way. But the second term is going to be a minus b because we don't have a plus anymore but a minus. So we are going to use the formula for the difference of squares in order to calculate this term. So we're simply going back to its original formula. In this case, calculating this expression is calculating basically. So calculating this expression basically means that we are calculating the product of these two factors. So it is going to be, because of this formula right here, so this is going to be result. Now we're going to use, now we're simply going to multiply that out. So we're going to get 5 plus 6 plus 2 times square root of 30 minus 7. So in total we get 4 plus 2 times square root of 30. So this is the example for the first two products. Now, because of the fact that we have some radicals also in the third and in the fourth factor, we might try to use this formula with the difference of squares again. Now, it seems to be a little bit more complicated, but we have a case which is pretty similar. In this case, we can see that we have in the third factor square root 5 minus square root 6. But in the fourth factor, we have minus square root 5 plus square root 6. So we can see that the signs are inverted in both cases. But what doesn't change is the sign before the square root of 7. We can see that it remains the same. So we can substitute square root of 7 with, let's say, c. And we can substitute square root of 5 minus square root of 6 with d. And we can use again the formula for the difference of squares. In this case, we have that c plus d times c minus d equals c squared minus d squared. And we can apply this formula since we know that d is going to be, in this case, square root of minus square root of 6. So this is d. But in the second factor, or precisely said, in the fourth factor, it's going to be minus t, because we don't have square root of 5 again, but we have minus square root of 5, and we don't have square root of 6 again, but we have plus. So we don't have the minus anymore, but the plus sign. So we're going to use that. So in this case, we're simply going to write it like this. So we are first writing the third factor, but we kind of inverted the order of the numbers, but that doesn't play a role. And we can multiply that by square root of 7 minus, and then this whole expression. And you can check it out also by yourself that it's actually true what we're doing. So this means that we're going to have to calculate square root of 7 squared, which is going to be 7, and then minus the square root of this expression we have right over here. So it's going to be 5 plus 6 minus 2 times square root of 30. And if we calculate it to end, we have 7 minus 5 plus 6 is 11, so minus 4 plus 2 times square root of 30. So now we also calculated the product of the third and fourth factor. So finally we get following simplification. We get 4 plus 2 times square root of 30 times minus 4 plus 2 times square root of 30. And we can see that we can apply this formula with the difference of squares again, since 2 times square root of 30 remains constant, and we have a change in the sign of the second number. So 4, and then we get minus 4. So we can apply this formula again. In order to calculate that, we're simply going to calculate 2 times square root of 30 all squared minus 4 squared. This number is going to be 4 times 30 minus 4 squared is 16. So the result is going to be 120 minus 16. Hence, the result is 104. So it is very important how we came from this term we had right over here. We came to 104. And we did all only by using the formula of the difference of squares. Now, if you want to learn more about algebra and sum manipulations, check out my playlist on polynomials. And other than that, thanks you for watching. And if you liked the video, please subscribe and write in the comments if you also got the solution. And as always, have a nice day.